to be able to do this due diligence that you have been advising us to do? What are the steps I need to take?
All right, so a company comes to you that invest in my company, I'm going to give you so much. Probably what you have to ask yourself is, who is this company?
First question.
Is the first company even registered in the first place? Is it registered with the Registrar General? And is the company registered to undertake the venture that is asking you to undertake?
Wow.
Because they are regulators. Is a company registered and is regulated by which organization? Is it Security and Exchange Commission? Is it Bank of Ghana? That is something that you need to ask. Okay. Some people go and invest and there's not even certificate of registration.
Okay.
All that they are interested in is the profit or the percentage profit that they are giving. So you need to appreciate the company, whether registered or not. And if it is registered, who are the shareholders? Who are the directors? Are there people who are capable of managing whatever money that you are investing in the company? What is their track record? Are they also putting their monies in it? Who are the management? Who is going to manage this company that you want to invest in the company? What are their assets that they have? Are they operating in a kiosk? Do they have a permanent place of abode? Some people are investing in ventures where they meet them at Obra Sport, at Circle, they meet them anywhere. Some people are investing in online ventures where they don't even have the physical contact. You don't know where the company is, so you need to understand, appreciate who is this company, who are behind the company. Then you also have to ask their track record. What have they been doing at least for the past 2 years? It doesn't mean new companies are not good to be invested in. That's what I'm saying. But if a company has been in existence for 2, 3, 4 years, what has been their past record, their revenue trend, their profit margin, their margin? What are they into? Then you also need to ask that. What about their competitors? Do you have other companies in the same business, and how much are they also offering to the public or to potential investors? And you also need to ask yourself the amount of profit that they are promising. Is it realistic? If it is not realistic, then it means you are taking a high risk. And if you decide to take a high risk, there's that possibility that you may not get it. But at least you must guide against you not losing your investment and how much you have spent to invest in the first place. So you have to look at that one. Then you have to do risk assessment. What are the potential things, potential events that can happen that might impact negatively on the company or the investment that the person is doing? Is this person paying their tax? Because if it is a company that is not even ready to pay taxes, and at the end of the day, the taxman will come back one day and they have to pay arrears, and they have to, it's likely that they are going to lose, or they may even be out of business in the first place. So you need to look at that. One may not even understand their balance sheet item. It may not make sense to lots of people. But at least if you have the money and you want to invest, there are people who are actually willing to help you to understand and then explain and analyze their balance sheet profile to you. So you need to look at all those things. Why are you doing that? Because you are looking at your objective, and your objective is the profit. You wouldn't want to invest in a company where at the end of the day you don't get the profits and you are likely to lose your investment. Right. So do all those things and it will help you to ensure that you are not going to lose your investment.
That sounds like you must have a lot of time to do this, because you know when I mean when I'm having listened to you, I noticed that these are about 4 key steps that you need to take in doing due diligence before you make that important decision of investing your money with a company. Unfortunately, it doesn't look a lot of people do that, because again, when we talk about track record, people interpret track record differently. For somebody, track record is that I know somebody who's been saving with that company for say maybe 6 months, and consistently the person has been taking their interest or their dividends or whatever it is, and so for them that's a track record. Nothing else matters, and so they'll just go and put their money. The money's there. I didn't know it was more nuanced and more and deeper than that, and you walked us through all of that. We're grateful for information you're sharing with us. Now, my next question to you is, Are there challenges associated with breach of due diligence as far as the investment field is concerned? Are there any?
Yes,
Okay.
because when you look at the current trends, you realize that, and without being specific, you realize that most people are losing their investment.
Okay.
And even though I say we are not going to talk about police, people end up coming to police to file complaint against people for fraud. The issue is Registrar General. Companies are supposed to file their returns with Registrar General. Simple thing like checking from the Registrar General whether the company has been filing its returns.
People don't do that.
People don't do that, and most people don't also file. So it just hear the company in doing. So sometimes, no matter what you do, things may go wrong, and it is possible that even though you might have done this due diligence, you have ensured yourself that there are good people behind the company has done well over the past 3 years. At the end of the day, if something should go wrong, what is your insurance? What are they going to give back to you? What are their assets? And if it is a requirement by the regulator, maybe their minimum capital requirement should be so much or so much. It is not for no reason that they come out with minimum capital for certain categories of investment company. It is because it is serving as insurance for potential investors. Do we check that? When you do all these things, there's still the possibility that you may not get it right. But at the end of the day, what you have to do is that your investment, you should not lose your investment. Breach of due diligence, it depends on who did the due diligence for you. Right. Is this something that you hired a professional to do that? Because if you hired a professional to do the due diligence for you, that professional owes you that duty of care to ensure that he gives you the necessary advice, he states the facts, and then you will decide to either go by it or not. So if it is a breach, then maybe the professional didn't do the work well. But if it is something that you decided to do yourself, that likelihood to be that breeder, you may not get it that right. So it is that.
I see. That's quite interesting. So in case you just joined us, we're having a very, very useful, relevant, and interesting conversation about, doing due diligence in investment, especially that's what we're talking about, financial investment, with a no mean person. And we're talking about DCOP Tiwaa Addo-Danquah. She's the Director General of CID of the Ghana Police Service, who's here with us. Many of us didn't know. Actually acting, right? Is it acting? Substantive. Actually, substantive. Yes, substantive.
Since January 24th.
Absolutely. Substantive, yes. I mentioned at the beginning, so I slipped. Pardon me for that. So she's the Substantive Director General of the CID of the Ghana Police Service, who's joined us on the Executive Breakfast Show this morning on Thinking Ahead series, which is a partnership we have with the ACCA. It comes your way every Tuesdays. That's from 9 to 10. And this morning we have a very important person. Now, Maame, you walked us through, first of all, what is due diligence. You walked us through the steps you need to take in ensuring due diligence. And you've also, walked us through challenges associated with breach of due diligence in the investment field. Now, my next question to you, but before I ask, if you have any questions for our guest, you can please send them to 0500,202. 0500,202. We are also live on Facebook, so that you can go and not just listen but also watch the show there. So Class 91.3, just go to Facebook and type Class 91.3. You would see myself and my resource person having this very interesting conversation. So are there really types of due diligence in financial investment?
Yes.
Okay, please walk us through.
Every venture that you undertake, there's due diligence, whether it is you are hiring, due diligence on recruitment, due diligence on this. There are so many things that you have to do. But financial investment, due diligence, and I think I've stated them already.
Right.
Like you find out the company, their trend, their profit margins, their current trend, who are behind the companies, the directors, the management, what is their level of expertise, their level of skills to manage that kind of investment, and then the stock price history. That is if you are talking about big companies and other things. So these are things that you have to do, steps that you have to go through in due diligence. But let me also say that, not even talking about big investment, there are so many people who are losing money in the name of investing.
Okay.
And some of them, it's sad that from where I sit, even though I promise not to talk about the police, people are giving money because they might have been told of higher return. For instance, where we have people who come to you either through phone calls or text messages that they are selling some products, and that somebody will be buying that product, and the person is staying at one of the big hotels. They start by giving you one, and you take to the person pays. If probably you bought a thing for 100 Ghana cedi, the person will buy for $100. So you become interested in it. You go back, and these people will show you where you can buy the item. You go back and buy trunk full of items. You go back and there's no white man to do that. You have still invested. What kind of due diligence did you do when you are investing in something? When you go online and they are saying that invest in this, and you see your investment growing online, suddenly the website is shut up. What kind of due diligence do you do? Especially when you are doing this kind of things where you have no physical contact, no address, you have not checked the company, and the most serious aspect is that the company is not even in Ghana.
Right. That's interesting. It's not even in
So,
Ghana. That even make matters worse.
That even make matters worse.
That's interesting. And now I wanted to ask about the, how due diligence actually works. But I think you have addressed that quite sufficiently. Now I want us to focus on the current trends. So I want to talk about current trends of due diligence in the financial sector. What are we referring to? And can you walk us through some of the current trends?
When you look at the current trends, everybody is aware the financial situation that we have in this country. So the issue is that things are happening, and doesn't mean everything is bad and that people should not invest.
Okay.
We should still continue to invest, and we should still look at whether the company in the first place is registered to undertake the type of business that the person is undertaking. Most investment companies are not registered, and once you invest in that company, ensure that that company is complying according to the regulator, whether Security and Exchange Commission or Bank of Ghana. And when you go to Security and Exchange Commission website, most of the companies that are non-compliant, they list the companies and whatever that they did that is making them non-compliant. So once you have a company and you know the regulator, you have to be checking on the regulator's website for information about the type of the companies that you have invested in. And
yes, so I was talking about the current trends. That's where you are now.
Okay, so
yes.
The current trend that people are losing money, and some of them, they don't even know whether they will get the money back. It is real.
That's on the part of the either depositor or the investor.
Yes, and another thing about even the people who are investing, companies investing, because when you also give money to a company, an investment company, they don't keep the monies in their offices. They also invest. And even when you talk about big financial institutions, they also give out loans to other people. But the issue is that when you are also giving out loans to people, what kind of due diligence do you also do?
Okay.
And I think I've realized that in our part of the world, they rather focus more on collateral rather than ability to pay.
Okay.
So when people are going for loans, they go with collateral. And the worst case scenario is when they go with third person's collateral.
Okay.
Somebody's building and the person has given to another person to use as a collateral. What kind of due diligence do they do? Especially to ensure that the person whose property is being given out has actually given consent and the person is aware. Let's not forget that there are so many people who are holding fake land titles and other things. So rather, the person that you're going to grant the loan to, we should focus on the person's ability to pay.
Okay.
What is he going to use the money for? And whether what the person is going to use the money for is capable of paying back whatever the money that he has collected from the financial institution. If we don't do that, and then we look at just the collateral, assuming you have given this Class FM building to somebody to use as a collateral, the person didn't pay the money and they have to fall on it. let's assume that the person had the consent of the owner to use it. Who has money to pay cash for this building and give to that financial institution? So it means people are having, investment companies are having certain types of collateral nobody is interested in. So we should rather focus on ability for the person, the lender, to pay rather than the collateral that the person is bringing as to take that. But so we should rather focus on ability to pay. And one due diligence that we also need to do when people are granting loan is that we must ensure that the purpose of which the money is being requested for is actually for that.
Right.
Because if somebody comes to say that I'm going to use this money to clear my goods, you should be able to check whether there are even any goods to be cleared. Whether there are bill of lading, you need to go extra mile to compare. Not only
And I'm just wondering the extent to which issues of due diligence features prominently in the problem, the financial challenges that we find ourselves in. Can you make a case that actually due diligence lies at the heart of the financial crisis that has hit us? You can make a case for that.
yes, I can make
you
a
can
case
argue
for that. And
confidently.
yes, that most of the things, the challenges that we have are because people didn't do due diligence.
Interesting.
That is what it didn't do. Because most of the ends, from where I sit, sometimes a case is presented to you and you ask yourself whether they did any due diligence at all.
Okay.
Properties don't exist. Meanwhile, it's been used as collateral.
Right.
People's collateral or properties have been used where the people did not actually give consent. What kind of due diligence did they do in all these cases? And we are not talking about small money. We are talking about millions of Ghana cedis. So if in 3 cases you lose about 5 million each, how much have we lost in that type of financial institution?
Right.
People are taking money under the guise of undertaking a contract which most of them don't even exist.
Wow, this is very powerful. In case you just joined us, we're having a very useful, the relevant conversation with DCOP Maame Tiwaa Addo-Danquah. She is the Director General with the Ghana Police Service, who's joined us on Thinking Ahead series. Director General of the CID actually of the Ghana Police Service. So she's joined us for Thinking Ahead series, which is our weekly Tuesday series that we do here on the Executive Breakfast. We'll bring management experts and so on to come and talk about issues that bother on management and finance, etc. Now we this morning have been very lucky to be joined by a very prominent woman within the Ghana Police Service. If you have any questions for her, please feel free to send them. The topic we're talking about, due diligence in the financial sector. What would you say have been some of the lessons you've learned? Was there anything that our resource person said which you were not very clear about? You can ask her to clarify that point. If there's any contribution you want to make, you're also free to do that. So 0302 20 80 80, 0302 20 80 80. This is the Executive Breakfast Show on Class FM, and my name is Moro Awudu. Mauto from Tema sends a message. He says, please ask your resource person what the role of the police when it comes to due diligence. That's from Mauto in Tema. Well, I think she's responded to that, but she may do that once again. Let me also look at this. This one from Uncle T says, good show, Moro. I like the resource person in the studio. She has actually proven that the police are not just there and fighting crime and are a bunch of persons who are only the police service because they have nothing to show. I think that we should give a big thumbs up to Maame. Yeah, that's there's actually that's not a full name, so please try and get a full name as well. Anyway, and that's coming from Uncle T, and this one from this one says, how can you? That's George. Okay, so Jorapon says, "Mami, go high. We love you so very much." So people are commenting, you know, people are commenting very actively on our social media page. That's on Facebook, and most of them are saying that you have they have really been impressed with so far the presentation, and some have been asking for the audio because they want to go and listen again. Somebody actually says that they just heard somebody drew their attention to the interview a while ago, and so they've just tuned in. So if it's possible for them to get the tape, they will. I think a lot of people, if you look at all the messages that are coming through, have been particularly impressed. This one says, "I'm enjoying this brilliant woman talking," and that's from Badeka Edmond. And Tom Selassie, he says, "I'm Selassie of Selax Supply Enterprise." It says, "I am looking for how can a sole proprietor business source for investors? I am one, and I'm looking for an investor." This one from Thales Yao Adjomeni says, "Very good education. Keep it up, madam." Thales Yao Adjomeni is back. He says, "Very insightful." James Granty says, "Please ask her about God is love, customers, and our money. We need it back." That's not why she's here. Nicholas Assebi says, "You people are what? Coping. Ghana money." Okay, I'm not sure. I don't understand what you mean. Bakovin Tiwaa from Paul says, "By ability to pay, is Maame Tiwaa talking about cash flow statement?" So somebody wants to know this. Let me take my first caller. That's what the message is playing. I can't read it. Let me take my first caller now. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thanks for educating us. I'm so happy about the program. I would like to say that sometimes we are driven by the love of money. So when investments give us higher returns, we don't question how they will raise those money. But me personally, I don't invest in those higher risk investments. I always go for fixed deposits and the T-bills, and always I'll be having my money. I've never lost any investment in that direction. So we should educate. We are Christians. The love of money can lead us into many troubles. So the due diligence is very, very important. But we don't do it. For the fact that we are going to get a huge sum of money at the end as dividends or interest or profit, we go in. I have a brother-in-law who lost about 2 billion. He invested in those Ponzi schemes because he was thinking of the interest that he will get at the end of the maturity date. So thank you very much, and I love the program.
Thank you.
We pray that we'll get a tape and then play it to our churches. I'm a reverend minister.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I see. You've put a smile on the face of my resource person. The fact that you're going to play the thing in your church. Thank you so very much for calling. You can call. You can do same actually on 0302 20 80 80. 0302 20 80 80. This is the Executive Breakfast Show Thinking Ahead series segment. Tuesdays we come your way. It's a partnership we have with the ACCA. I have a very prominent resource person this morning in the studio. I'm talking about DCOP Tiwaa Addo. She's the Director General of CID Ghana Police Service. She's speaking on the topic due diligence in investment. What do you have to? What opinion do you have to share or express on this matter? Very happy to hear from you on 0302 20 80 80. In fact, you can also send that in tweets. Just use the hashtag #ClassEBS, or you can just personally tweet at me on that's use at Moro Awudu. The Moro has a double R. Let me go to my next caller. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Omar.
Yes, sir. Is that Clement from Roman Ridge?
Yeah, no, this is Lukman from the...
Oh, Lukman. Oh, Lukman, I've not heard from you in a while.
Yes, I've been having listened.
Thank you.
I have to sit back and also listen.
That's great. Please go ahead.
You're the first person. You know, all this program that we have been, some of us, most of us are...
He's always calling CTFM.
If you
He
want
comes
to
here once in a
invest
while.
your money and the interest that they give you is very high, if you don't take your time, you will not get it. You only get it in the paper, not physical. So we should be careful of what we invest. especially when the interest is very high. Sometimes we want to invest at the shortest possible time, we get a lot. It doesn't happen anywhere in this world. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you. Thank you so very much. We'll just take 2 more calls. We don't have all the time. On 0302 20 80 80, and just calling and ask whatever questions or clarifications that you want. So let me go to the messages again, because these are also listeners who want some clarification on this matter. Now, this one here from Toran, it says, good morning, Moro. This is Toran from Community 19. Lashmi, please, I'd like to find out how, he says, it's okay. He says, Maame, you are so good. Go higher and God bless you. Okay, and this one here is coming from Ezekiel. Ezekiel says, good morning. Please tell Maame that she is so fantastic. She should come back next week because I've really enjoyed this. But please ask her for me, if I don't have the capacity to check whether the company I'm going to do the business with is genuine or not, what do I do? Because I don't want to pay money to anybody for them to mislead me. I can tell you that my brother did that with an investment company, and today he's crying like ma. So that's from Ezekiel. He says he doesn't want to pay anybody to advise him. He also doesn't know what to do to be able to get to the bottom of some of this material information that you need in relation to the whatever investment instruments that you're getting yourself involved in. So what should you do? Ezekiel?
Simple thing that you have to do is to find out whether the company that you want to invest in is registered.
Basic.
And you can just find out from the registrar general.
Okay.
And whether some companies have been...
Let me take this call now, and I can come back to you. Thank you. Hello. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Yes, sir. Your name and where you're calling us from, please.
This is Hakim calling from Prampra.
Hakim from Prampram. Your name, sir.
Yeah. You see, if looking at the investment rate in Ghana here, you see, from the individual capacity, we are almost aiming that we should get the high interest of whatever we invest today. But looking at it, it is not easy. So I want Ghanaians to be very careful, and so they also know how to do the investment. But what I want to find out here is that I heard and I have seen some of the bankers which was collapsed some time ago. So those who have got their investment into those bankers, what is going to happen to their money now?
That's a biggie.
but not to do what they try to do. So if you are registered and it is not for investment, don't do it. Because investment companies are supposed to be regulated and regulated. So basically, find out that
Starbright from Eastleigh, what do you want to say?
I want to ask her about the forex market.
yeah.
How secure is it? How good is it to invest in it? I want her to say something about that.
Okay. I think a lot of people have turned into an investment consultant. Anyway, so his question, he wants to know about the forex market.
The forex market is a bit technical. So if you want to invest into it, you need still, I'll come back to the due diligence. Find out who can advise you on the nitty-gritties of forex market. And if you don't understand, don't enter into something that you don't understand. And maybe to my final word is when people use other people's money to invest because they want to make this quick turnaround. Maybe you are a treasurer of a church, or you are a treasurer of some NGOs or something, and you decide that because this one is paying so much, let me just do 3 months and then I'll get the money back. If you are not lucky, you are likely to lose some people's money. So what you don't do is to even use somebody's investment, for somebody's money for investment that is paying high, because the higher the investment, the higher the risk of the investment.
I mean, do you know what percentage of companies that have not been registered, have you been able to do any research in that area to be able to tell, or based on the number of complaints that come to you, you can hazard a guess that either most people or most companies are unregistered, and that's what even makes it more risky?
Unfortunately, I'm not able to tell how many companies have been registered. But what we experience is that the company is registered all right. Maybe the company is registered to do general merchant,
Right.
and the person is doing investment.
Right.
So that is what I'm talking about. For that one, we continue to have companies that are not registered to do investment, but they're actually doing it.
Okay.
So that is a challenge. So basically you need to, because when you register the company, the object is stated. So the company, what the company is registered for, you can get that information for the Registrar General Department. And most importantly, whether the company is filing its returns with the Registrar General.
Wow.
So that you know that the company is active. Some people register companies, it is registered all right, they don't do anything, and unless you go to Registrar General for you to know that the company is active, you wouldn't know.
That's interesting. Wow. What can I say? I want to say a big thanks to you, DCOP Mrs. Maame Tiwaa Addo-Danquah. She's been my guest on ACCA Thinking Ahead series of the Executive Breakfast Show on Class FM 91.3. Thank you so very much. What are your final words? In a nutshell, what are you telling somebody who a potential investor this morning?
In a nutshell, getting money or having money to invest is not easy to come by. Money is not easy to come by. Whatever that we have, let us guide against it. Let us protect it with whatever that we have. If you want to invest, it is a good thing that you have to do, because at the end of the day, you are going to get profit, and the profit will be used for other purposes. And like investing in our children, you don't send your children to a school where he will not come out as a good person. The same way, when you want to invest in companies that you are likely to get some sort of profit. And let's be mindful of investment that is paying very high returns, because the higher the risk, the higher the return, the higher the risk, the higher the likelihood that you are likely to lose your investment. It doesn't mean we should not invest. Investment is very good. Let's go for it, but let us do our due diligence before we decide to invest in company.
Awesome. Thank you, and have a great day, Adam. Thank you.